Today we are going to deal with invitation to English 2, and the topic we are going to discuss today is three questions. Bujhala. Today we are discussing three questions and detailed study. It is a story, and we are going to introduce the author. It is actually written by Leo Tolstoy, a Russian writer who was born in the year 1828 and died in the year 1910. 1910. Bujhala.
Okay.
He was a Russian writer who primarily wrote novels and short stories. Later in life, he also wrote plays and essays. Bujhala. At first,
Okay.
he used to write novels and short stories for children, but later in his life, he also started writing plays and essays. ତାପରେ ସେ essays ଆଉ drama ଲେଖିବା ଆରମ୍ଭ କଲେ. ବୁଝିହେଲା? And one of his
Okay.
best contribution was his War and Peace, which was actually written by himself, and another story or another contribution that was known as Anna Karenina. बुझियाला they both were masterpieces of the writer or the Russian writer Leo Tolstoy. बुझियाला लियो टॉल्स्टॉयଙ୍କର ମୁଖ୍ୟ ଦୁଇଟି ଅବଦାନ ଥିଲା His War and Peace and Anna Karenina. ବୁଝିହେଲା and acknowledged as two of greatest novels of all time. ଏଇଟା ଥିଲା ତାଙ୍କର ଦୁଇଟା greatest novels. ବୁଝିହେଲା War and Peace ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ହେଲା Anna Karenina. And yes, but today we are going to deal with the topic three questions. बुझिहेला
Okay.
so you will study it properly at your home, but I am going to give an introduction of the writer. I told you something about the writer, and what is more there in the text I am going to tell in detail. Bujhela. So
Okay.
there was a king in his kingdom. Bujhela. There was a king in a kingdom. Gote rajya jone raja thile. And we know they all are mad persons. Most of the kings are mad. ବହୁତ ପାଗଳ ଥାନ୍ତି ସେମାନେ ବୁଝିହେଲା so the
Okay.
person or that king once something it came into his mind, and what was that? Actually he wanted to know what is the right time to begin everything बुझिहेला and also he asked himself, and something came into his mind, who were the right people to whom the king should listen. बुझिहेला and another thing it came into his mind, that what was the most important thing or work or job to do in the life. बुझिहेला there was a king in a kingdom. One day some questions arose in the mind of the king. ବୁଝିହେଲା and what were those questions? Actually there were three questions. ତାଙ୍କ ମନରେ ଜୁଟିଥିଲା ତିନିଟା କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍, ଆଉ ସେଗୁଡ଼ାକ ହେଲା କ'ଣ? What is the right time to start any action? That was the number one question. It came into his mind. Number two question which came into his mind, what was that? Second question ହେଲା ଏଇଆ ଯେ who are actually right persons to whom the king should listen and believe and trust. ବୁଝିହେଲା and another thing it also came into his mind, that was what is actually the right time to start, what is the right job to do or right work to do, or what is the right thing to do, କ'ଣ actually ପ୍ରକୃତ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟ କରାଯିବା ଦରକାର. ବୁଝିହେଲା ଏତିକି ଜିନିଷ ବୁଝିହେଲା.
Okay.
It once occurred to a certain king that if he always knew the right time to begin everything, if he knew who were the right people to listen to and whom to avoid, and above all, if he always knew what was the most important thing to do, he would never fail in anything he might undertake. बुझिहेला he would
Okay.
never fail in everything he might undertake. माने those questions, if he came to know or if he came to get all the answers of those three questions, it would make his work easier in the life to lead a happy life. ଜୀବନରେ ବଞ୍ଚିବା ପାଇଁ ହେଲେ କ'ଣ କ'ଣ ଜାଣିବା ଦରକାର, ସେ ତିନିଟା ଥିଲା ଥ୍ରୀ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ସ, ତାର ଆନ୍ସର, ଆଉ ତାର ଆନ୍ସର ଜାଣିଲା ପରେ ସେ ସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ତାଙ୍କୁ ସହଜ ହୋଇଯାଇଥାନ୍ତା ବୋଲିକରି ସେ ଭାବୁଥିଲେ. ଦିନେ ତାଙ୍କ ମାଇଣ୍ଡରେ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ସବୁ ଏରାଇଜ୍ ହେଲା and he wanted to know all the answers of those three questions. So what he did in the next, ତାପରେ ସେ କ'ଣ କଲେ, that he proclaimed in his kingdom ବୁଝିହେଲା? ଦେଖ in the next paragraph, and this thought having occurred to him, he had it proclaimed throughout his kingdom that he would give a great reward to anyone who would teach him what was the right time for every action and who were the most necessary persons and
Yeah.
how he might know what was the most important thing to do. Bujela again he repeated all
Okay.
those three questions and he announced in his kingdom if anyone was able to give his answers then he would be rewarded by the king. Bujela ରାଜା କ'ଣ କଲେ
Okay.
ପାଗଳ ହେଇକରି କ'ଣ କଲେ ସେ ପୁରା ତାଙ୍କର ଦେଶରେ ବା ତାଙ୍କ ରାଜ୍ୟରେ ସେ କ'ଣ କରିଦେଲେ ଆନାଉନ୍ସ କରିଦେଲେ ହି ସ୍ପ୍ରେଡ୍ ଦ ନ୍ୟୁଜ୍ ଇଫ୍ ଏନି ୱାନ୍ ୱାଜ୍ ଏବୁଲ୍ ଟୁ ଗିଭ୍ ହିଜ୍ ଆନ୍ସର୍ ଦେନ୍ ହି ଉଡ୍ ବି ରିୱାର୍ଡ଼େଡ଼ ଯଦି କେହି ତିନିଟି କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ୍ର ଆନ୍ସର୍ ଯଦି ମୋତେ କିଏ ଦେଇଦେଲା ମୁଁ ତାକୁ ଭଲ ପୁରସ୍କାର ଦେବି ତାକୁ ବିଦାୟ କରିବି ବୋଲିକରି ସେ ଚିନ୍ତା କଲେ ବୁଝିହେଲା ଏତିକି ଜିନିଷ ବୁଝିହେଲା ଦ ମିନିଂ ଅଫ୍
Okay.
ପ୍ରୋକ୍ଲେମ୍ ମାନେ ଘୋଷଣା କରିବା PROCLAIM ପ୍ରୋକ୍ଲେମ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଦ ପାଷ୍ଟ ଟେନ୍ସ ଅଫ୍ ପ୍ରୋକ୍ଲେମ୍ ଇଜ୍ ନୋନ୍ ଏଜ୍ ପ୍ରୋକ୍ଲେମ୍ଡ
Okay.
ବୁଝିହେଲା so
Okay.
that was something it came into his mind again we are going to repeat all those three questions ଏବେ now I am asking you what are those three questions came into the mind of the king କହିଲ
ठीक है सर.
hmm
The first question is this. Who are the most necessary people?
hmm
No, who would teach him what was the right time for every action? It was the first, sir.
hmm
And second is the who are the most necessary people. Our third is who how he might knew what was the most important thing to do.
ଠିକ୍ ବୁଝିହେଲା ପ୍ରକୃତ ସମୟ କେଉଁଟା ଗୋଟେ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟ ଆରମ୍ଭ କରିବା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ଆଣ୍ଡ ପ୍ରକୃତ ଲୋକ ବା ବ୍ୟକ୍ତି କିଏ ଯାହାକୁ ଆମେ ବିଶ୍ୱାସ କରିପାରିବା ଆଉ କାହାକୁ ଆମେ ଇଗ୍ନୋର କରିପାରିବା ବା ଆଭଏଡ଼ କରିପାରିବା ଆଣ୍ଡ କେଉଁମାନେ ହେଉଛନ୍ତି ବା କେଉଁଟା ହେଉଛି ସବୁଠୁ ଗୁରୁତ୍ୱପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟ ଯେଉଁଟାକୁ ଆମେ କରିବା ଆବଶ୍ୟକ ବୁଝିହେଲା ଆଣ୍ଡ ଇନ୍ ଦ ନେକ୍ସଟ ପାରାଗ୍ରାଫ ୱି କେମ୍ ଟୁ ଅଣ୍ଡରଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡ ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ଦ ପର୍ସନ୍ କିଙ୍ଗ announced in his kingdom that if anyone was able to give his answer then he would be rewarded by the king ବୁଝିହେଲା ସେ ସବୁ ଘୋଷଣା କରିଦେଲେ ଯିଏ ଆର ପୁରସ୍କାର ମାନେ ଯିଏ ଆର ଆନ୍ସର ଦେଇପାରିବ ତାକୁ ସେ ପୁରସ୍କୃତ କରିବେ କିଏ ରାଜା ବୁଝିହେଲା so and learned men came to the king but they all answered his questions differently. So people of that surrounding or people of the kingdom came to know about all the questions and the announcement of the king and they came up with the responses, they came up with the replies ବୁଝିହେଲା ସେମାନେ ତାଙ୍କର ଆନ୍ସର ନେଇକରି ସବୁ ଆସିଲେ କିଏ କ'ଣ ଆନ୍ସର ଦେଲା in the next page it is written next page କାଢ଼ open page number 2 ଦେଖ in reply to the first question some said that to know that right time for every action one must draw up in advance a table of dates months and years and must live strictly according to it only thus said they could everything be done at its proper time. Others declared that it was impossible to decide beforehand the right time for every action, but that not letting oneself be absorbed in idle pastimes, one should always attend to all that was going on and then do what was most needful. बुझिएला? Others again said that, however attentive the king might be to what was going on, it was impossible for one man to decide correctly the right time for every action, but that he should have a council of wise men who would help him to fix the proper time for everything. बुझिएला? So number of people came up with their replies to the king. ରାଜାଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ ଆସିଲେ ବୁଝିହେଲା? I told you and I repeat again I am repeating you what was the first question, what is the right time to start an action ବୁଝିହେଲା? ଗୋଟେ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟ କରିବାର ପ୍ରକୃତ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟ କରିବାର ସମୟ ହେଉଛି କୋଉଟା ବୁଝିହେଲା? गोटे कार्य कर प्रकृत समय हूँ कौटा एंड आई टोल्ड यू दैट द किंग अनाउंस्ड in his kingdom if anyone was able to give his answer then he would be rewarded. In the very next day people came up with their replies to the very first question. बुझिला प्रथम क्वेश्चन रो आंसर नै करी ग्रुप ऑफ पीपल केम एंड सम सेड बुझिला गोटे ग्रुप लोक आसिले एंड से माने कोन कहले दैट टू नो द राइट टाइम फॉर एवरी एक्शन वन मस्ट ड्रॉ ऑफ इन एडवांस बुझिला वन मस्ट ड्रॉ ऑफ इन एडवांस जन को एडवांसली फिक्स करियो को पड़िबो दैट मींस द टाइम शुड बी फिक्स्ड इन एडवांस हाउ लेट मी एक्सप्लेन इट प्रॉपर्ली आको केमिति कहा जाय छी इठी देखो सपोज यू आर गोइंग टू स्टार्ट द एक्शन टुमारो बुझियला सपोज यू आर गोइंग टू स्टार्ट द एक्शन टुमारो इट शुड बी फिक्स्ड टुडे आज फिक्स हवा दरकार बुझियला सपोज 1 hour later we are going to do that work that means before 1 hour we will have to prepare proper time बुझियला कि नहीं we will have to fix the time that will be the proper time that means something it is discussed by the writer it should be fixed in advance some people said and it was the reply to the very first question एमती कह जाइछि one must draw up in advance a table of days months and years that means he or she will have to prepare his or her own calendar बुझियला and he or she will have to live strictly according to it एभली भाव ताको संपूर्ण भाव रहिबा को पड़िबो बुझियला only thus said they could everything be done at its proper time and then only it can be done in a proper time गोटे proper time रे तार काम से करि परियो if he or she has prepared his or her calendar properly बुझियला तार टाइम से जदि एडवांस फिक्स करछि दैट मीन्स ओनली थिंग वी शुड अंडरस्टैंड इट प्रॉपर्ली व्हाट वाज द रेस्पॉन्स टू द वेरी फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन और व्हाट वाज द फर्स्ट रिप्लाई टू द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन दैट इट शुड बी फिक्स्ड इन एडवांस बुझियला द टाइम शुड बी फिक्स्ड इन एडवांस आगरु ताको फिक्स करबार अछि टाइम बुझियला others declared that it was impossible to decide beforehand the right time for every action another group of people came and they said and what was the response to the very first question number 2 category लोक आसिले and they said to the king and it was the response to the very first question सेमाने कोन कहले it is quite a difficult task to fix proper time बुझियला टू स्टार्ट एनी एक्शन गोटे कार्य आरंभ करबा पूर्व प्रकृत समय चिंता करबा एक्चुअली बहुत कष्टकर कथा बोली कर से कहले एंड दे गेव अप एंड दे सेड इट इज टू डिफिकल्ट टास्क टू फिक्स अ प्रॉपर टाइम प्रकृत कार्य करिवार समय निर्धारण करबा बहुत कष्टकर कथा बोली कर से चिंता करिकर कहले किछि लोक बुझियला बुझियला कि नहीं
हां सर
but that not letting oneself be absorbed in idle pastimes one should always attend to all that was going on and then do what was most needful बुझियला से कोन कहउचंती माने द ग्रुप ऑफ पीपल से माने कहउचंती इट इज इम्पॉसिबल फर्स्ट ग्रुप कहले कोन इट शुड बी फिक्स्ड इन एडवांस अदर्स हां another group of people came and they said to the king कोन कहले राजा को said that
it is impossible
however attentive the king might be it was impossible for one man to decide correctly the right time for every action semane koile it was impossible one man to decide correctly the right time for every action semane koile यह बहुत कष्टकर कथा कहवाटा बुझियला
हां सर
हां आ गोटे ग्रुप लोक आसिले हला ए पर्यंत आमे दुईटा ग्रुप कथा चिंता करिचे a group of people came and they said that it should be fixed in advance fix roiba darkar and he or she will have to prepare his or her own calendar a table of days table of months bujhe lagi nahi she will have to prepare another group people came and they said it is quite impossible it is too difficult task to decide proper time before going to start any action bujhela number 3 category kon koile that he should have a council of wise men who would help him to fix proper time for everything another group of people came and they said to the king it was the response to the very first question that the king might take the council of wise men that means he should go to the wise persons ज्ञानी लोक मान पाखु जिबा दरकार and he should get some suggestion from those people and they people only can say the right time to start any action ବୁଝିଗଲା।
हाँ
ତୃତୀୟ
जी
କ୍ୟାଟେଗୋରୀ ଲୋକ କ'ଣ କହିଲେ ଆସିକି ତୃତୀୟ ନମ୍ବର ଲୋକମାନେ ସେମାନେ ଆସିକି ରାଜାଙ୍କୁ କହିଲେ ଯେ ଦ କିଙ୍ଗ ସୁଡ୍ ଗୋ ଟୁ ଦ ୱାଇଜ୍ ପର୍ସନ୍ସ ହି ସୁଡ୍ get the some suggestion he should get some suggestion from the wise persons
वही
and those
पर्सन
wise persons can only say the right time to start any action ସେମାନେ ହିଁ କେବଳ କହିପାରିବେ ପ୍ରକୃତ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟ କରିବାର ସମୟ। ବୁଝିଗଲା।
हाँ जी
we got three responses of people
रीटिंग
हाँ
हाँ जी
people in response to the very first question ବୁଝିଗଲା or in reply to the first question ବୁଝିଗଲା ଏତିକି ଜିନିଷ।
हाँ जी
But then again, others said there were something which couldn't wait to be led before a council, but about which one had at once to decide whether to undertake them or not. But in order to decide that, one must know beforehand what was going to happen. It is only
हैपन हाँ जी
magicians who know that, and therefore, in order to know the right time for every action, one must consult magicians. Number 4 category people came and they said to the king, which was a response to the first question, that as it is too difficult task on the part of everyone to decide a perfect time or a right time to start any action, but there is someone who can say us what is the right time to start any action, and they are only magicians. That means the king should go to the magicians to decide the perfect time or the right time to start any action. ବୁଝିହେଲା।
हाँ जी
ହଁ ଗୋଟେ ଗ୍ରୁପ ଲୋକ ଆସିଲେ ସେମାନେ କହିଲେ ରାଜାଙ୍କୁ it is too difficult task to decide on the part of common persons or simple persons. An extraordinary person can only say what is the right time to start any action, and those extraordinary persons are known as the magicians. Only the magicians can
हाँ
say which is the right time to start any action, and that is why the king should go to the magicians.
मेडिसिन
ବୁଝିହେଲା।
हाँ जी
ଏ କଥା କୁହାଗଲା। ଏତିକି ଜିନିଷ ହେଉଛି it was, and those were the four responses in reply to the very first question. ବୁଝିହେଲା।
हाँ
That
जी
means the king should consult magicians to start any action or to decide perfect time to start any action. ଯେକୌଣସି କାର୍ଯ୍ୟ କରିବା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ପ୍ରକୃତ ସମୟ କେହି କହିପାରିବ? Only magicians. ବୁଝିହେଲା।
हाँ
So
जी
equally various were the answers to the second question. Some said the people the king most needed were his counselors, others the priests, others the doctors, while some said the warriors were the most necessary. बुझिएला।
हाँ जी
Again, I told you there was another question came into the mind of the king, and that was what? Who are the most important persons to whom the king could trust and the king should believe and the king should accept? बुझिएला।
हाँ जी
Number of people came with their answers, and what were those responses to the very second question? ଦ୍ୱିତୀୟ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ ର ଆନ୍ସର ନେଇକରି କ'ଣ କ'ଣ ସବୁ ଆସିଲେ ଲୋକମାନେ କହିଲେ ଦେଖ। It is written here in the next paragraph. Equally various were the answers to the second question. ସେମିତି ଭିନ୍ନ ଭିନ୍ନ ଆନ୍ସର ନେଇକରି ଲୋକମାନେ ଆସିଲେ। Some said the people the king most needed were his counselors. କିଏ ହେଉଛି ପ୍ରକୃତ ବ୍ୟକ୍ତି? His counselors. ବୁଝିହେଲା। Those who work in his palace. Those who work in his palace. ତାଙ୍କର କାର୍ଯ୍ୟ ହଁ ରାଜପ୍ରସାଦ ଯେଉଁମାନେ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟ କରନ୍ତି। His ministers, his soldiers, his ଆମେ କହିପାରିବା the army chief, the ଯେଉଁମାନେ ବି ଥାନ୍ତି ଆମର ରାଜପ୍ରସାଦରେ କାମ କରନ୍ତି ମନ୍ତ୍ରୀ ଜ୍ଞାନୀ ଗୁଣୀ ଲୋକ। ବୁଝିଲା କି ନାହିଁ? The counselors, those who work in the palace, they only are the important persons in the life of a king. ଗୋଟେ ରାଜାଙ୍କର ମଧ୍ୟରେ ବା କାହାକୁ ବିଶ୍ୱାସ କରିବା ଦରକାର? Only important persons were the counselors. ତାଙ୍କର counselors. ବୁଝିହେଲା। ଯେଉଁମାନେ ଜ୍ଞାନୀ ଗୁଣୀ ବ୍ୟକ୍ତି ତାଙ୍କର ରାଜପ୍ରସାଦ ରହିଛନ୍ତି, they are the only important persons. ବୁଝିହେଲା।
हाँ जी
Another group of people came and they said to the king, who were the most important persons? They said the priests, pujari, those who worship God in the temple. ବୁଝିହେଲା। ଯେଉଁମାନେ ମନ୍ଦିରରେ ପୂଜା ଅର୍ଚ୍ଚନା କରନ୍ତି, they are only priests, ପୂଜାରୀ ମାନେ। ବୁଝିହେଲା।
हाँ जी हाँ
Another group of people came and they said only the doctors are the important persons. କିଏ ହେଉଛି ସବୁଠୁ ଗୁରୁତ୍ୱପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ ବା ପ୍ରକୃତ ବ୍ୟକ୍ତି? ଡକ୍ଟର୍ସ। ବୁଝିହେଲା। And
हाँ जी
Some said the warriors were the most necessary persons. Another group of people came with their answer. Then they said to the king,
The
the
warrior.
warriors ବୋଲେ ଯୋଦ୍ଧା ମାନେ ହଉଛନ୍ତି ବହୁତ ଗୁରୁତ୍ୱପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ
Okay.
ବ୍ୟକ୍ତି, and the king should trust them, believe them. ବୁଝିହେଲା? The king should
Okay.
believe them. In real, the king was not satisfied with all the answers given by the people. He wanted to know quite different answers, and the king was not satisfied. ବୁଝିହେଲା? And
Okay.
those answers didn't attract to the king. ବୁଝିହେଲା? ରାଜାଙ୍କୁ ଆକର୍ଷଣ କରିପାରିଲା ନାହିଁ, and he was not satisfied with all the responses of the people. ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କ ଦ୍ୱାରା ସେ ଶାନ୍ତ ହେଇପାରିଲେ ନାହିଁ ବା ସନ୍ତୁଷ୍ଟତା ଲାଭ କରିପାରିଲେ ନାହିଁ. Still we have not yet discussed the third question. ବୁଝିହେଲା? What were those responses in reply to the third question? We have
Okay.
understood what was the third question. ଯେ
ସେ ଥାର୍ଡ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଟା କଣ କହିବି ସାର୍?
ହଁ
ସେ ଥାର୍ଡ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଟା ହଉଛି how he might know that what was the most important thing to do.
thing to do, ମାନେ what is the best work to do. ବୁଝିହେଲା? and what is the best job to do. ପ୍ରକୃତ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟ ହେଉଛି କୋଉଟା ଯୋଉଟା କରିବା ଦରକାର. Yes. So all the answers being different. So sorry, to the third question, as to what was the most important occupation. Occupation ବୋଲେ ବୃତ୍ତି ବା କାର୍ଯ୍ୟ ଗୋଟେ କଥା. ବୁଝିଲା କି ନାହିଁ? ହଁ. Some replied that the most important thing in the world was science. The most important thing in the world was science. Some people came and they said to the king, and it was the response to the third question. बुझिएला? And all the answers were going different. Let me discuss another group people what they said to the king. Others said it was skill in warfare. बुझिएला? First group people came and they said to the king what was the right job to do, or what was the right occupation to do. Some said research in science, or science is the best work to do, or science was the best work to do, and it was the best occupation, they said. बुझिएला? Another group of people came and they said skill in warfare. ବୁଝିହେଲା? skill in warfare, ରଣକୌଶଳ. ବୁଝିଲା କି ନାହିଁ? skills in warfare. ଯୁଦ୍ଧର ରଣକୌଶଳ, ଯୁଦ୍ଧର ସ୍ଥିତି ବିଷୟରେ, ଯୁଦ୍ଧର ନିୟମ କାନୁନ ବିଷୟରେ ଜାଣିବା, ଗୋଟେ ଏକ୍ସପିରିଏନ୍ସ କରିବା, ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ another good work, or that is another best work to do. ବୁଝିହେଲା କି ନାହିଁ? Others said it was religious worship. Another group of people came and they said to the king religious worship. समाज जो पूजा अर्चना करिबा सेटा हाँ भगवान को आराधना करिबा, that was another occupation. They said to the king. So they all gave their different views to the king, but the king was not satisfied with the answers given by his people. बुझिएला? So he wanted to know quite different answers, and the answers were not being matched. बुझिएला? And something he decided in the next to do, and what he decided to do we will discuss in the next class. ବୁଝିଏଲା? ଆମେ next class ରେ ପଢିବା ହେଲା? ଏତିକି ଥାଉ. ହଁ.